for that white gold. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip, sign the check.
That was fun. That was nuts, actually. Yes, yes, Sir Hairless here. Today we have a fun key. Funky. A fun one, it should be anyway. It's a cover of Uptown Funk, which is, as its name would suggest, quite a funky song. The original has 5.5 billion views on YouTube. Absolutely insane numbers. This group, 7th Ave, I assume it's short for 7th Avenue. Let me know if it's actually pronounced 7th Ave or something. I'd never heard of them before, and it is my first time seeing them. But we do have some familiar faces. We have Chris Rupp, one of Home Free's founding members, and this is the first band he created since leaving Home Free. We have Adam Bastine. He is the newest member of Home Free. I've seen him once before. That was in Something to Talk About. If you want to see my reaction to that one, you can do so card up here. I really liked him in that. I thought he had a cracking voice. We have Tristan Rupp, who is Chris's sister, and Kelly Jekyll. I've never seen that surname before. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And she is an actress and singer. Now, I'm told that this is not a cappella, but there are still some cool harmonies in here. So I'm looking forward to it. It was a winner of a recent monthly members poll. And these polls are available to absolutely everyone over on my Patreon, completely free. So if you want to vote on future polls, you can head on over there. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Same key as the original.
This hit that ice cold. Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them hood girls, them good girls, straight masterpieces. Styling, wildin', living it up in this city. Got Chuck's on, Miss Saint Laurent's. I gotta kiss myself, it's so pretty. I'm too hot, hot damn. Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot, hot damn. They can try, I wanna retire, man. I'm too hot, hot damn. You'll say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot, hot damn. And I'm bad about their money, break it down. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. It's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip.
They just sang Stop. I was a little bit late in stopping. A very nice walking bass coming in on the piano. Not gonna lie, I'm being killed by the bass lines here. There's just chromaticism everywhere. We all know I love chromaticism, especially in something so upbeat like this. Usually we see it used in a different context, something expressing deep kind of emotional turmoil or anguish. Here though, completely different musical context, setting. Yeah, I'm going to do a first pause. There's so much to talk about and we don't have time. You know, I like to try and keep these videos as short as possible. They always end up being far longer than I intend to. So let's go back over what we've heard and I'll just point out some of the things that really caught my ears the most. Super fun one, this, super fun one. If you don't want to hear my thoughts, go to the timestamp. So it starts off in the same key. I mentioned that earlier. Hopefully you could hear me over the music. The original starts like this. A cappella, essentially, with some body percussion. Very iconic opening and really sets the tone, the style immediately. Here, slightly different style. It's much more funk-y or soul-y, stylistically similar to how I imagine we'd get in the mid-20th century, and their outfits as well in this cover really show that modern take on an older style. So much more piano heavy, and we get that with the introduction. Syncopations, we know that we have funk rhythms underlying everything rather than just standard cha-cha-cha-cha. Swing, there's just elements of swing music in absolutely everything that we've been hearing so far. First chords in the harmony that we hear, which is... Very subtle, a bit more difficult to hear that one. And then the more obvious harmony note in the male, that's probably Bastine if Chris is singing the bass parts on this note. In the wider context though, with the root being here, and if we fill it out, D minor 7 chord. So yeah, every chord pretty much is non-standard in typical funk style. A lot of sevenths, ninths, that kind of thing in there. And the sustained oohs, creating a nice contrast, one to the other vocal line, the famous bass line. Dum, da, dum. Way too low for me, so I'm going to do it up the octave. Dum, 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 dum. That one. And the addition of the piano with these funky rhythms, everything is just funked up a little bit more compared to the original. Texture been thickening. Then what happens with the first melody coming in Adam Bastine, who is really good in this, I think, by the way. Yeah, I just love his voice. Insanely high chest voice, seems so easy for him.
This hit the ice cold.
And just before as well, the vocal growth into the extremely high trumpet.
Cold. Michelle fight for that white gold.
I don't know about you, but I think that's just cool. I've seen so many clips of older music where everything cuts out except for the beat and then you get someone dancing or singing. It makes me believe I was born 50 or 60 years too late. The original does something similar, but the beat's completely different.
Michelle fight for that white gold. This one for them.
You know, a bit harder, a bit more heavy hitting, less light, slower, different rhythmic infrastructure. What happens in the original on this line?
Great masterpieces. Styling, wildin', living it.
No new ideas yet, but in this cover, really interesting new idea coming in that bass line, chromatic, rising, building tension.
Styling, wildin', living it up in the city.
Cha on the offbeats, rhythmic displacement. It's removing the comfort of a strong beat that we might have into nice harmony on the top line.
Living it up in the city. Got Chuck's on, let's sing around. I gotta kiss myself, it's so pretty. I'm too hot there. Call the police and the fireman.
Great dance moves. They all just look like they're having a great time. Visually exciting, the colors, the cinematography, I guess how they filmed it. Great set locations. Yeah, there's just a lot to talk about and I just think it's all really good. Quality arrangement. I'm not going to go over everything. We're 30 seconds in and I've already been chewing your ears off. For arguably the most famous bit of the song, other than the introduction perhaps, what do they do here?
I'll give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you.
So this phrase is repeated, starts out with Bastine, then other voices come in joining in unison. We get the rock organ coming in, then the rock organ has this layered build up, creating further dissonance.
'Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you.
Oh, that descending walking bass again, chromatically. But yeah, let's listen out for the voice, more voices, organ, dissonance layering, and then we get the tinkling piano, I think, coming in.
Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. It's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe me, just watch. Don't believe me, just watch.
Yeah, they've really got the dance moves going on there, don't they? And just before we carried on, another very famous part of the song, let's find it in the original.
Just watch. Hey, 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 oh! Stop.
The melody goes all the way up. They don't do that here.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Nice.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Nice.
Hey, hey, oh!
The top note instead of is. So that's this top note here. Just as we saw at the beginning, creating this minor seventh instead of the standard D minor chord. Yeah, super fun. Let's carry on. I'm very interested where the instrumental sounds came from. Is it just software? Did they have people come in and record their parts? If you know, let me know down below.
Stop. Wait a minute. Fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood, Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we're gonna show out. Smoother than a fresh drop skippy. I'm too hot.
Hot there,
Call the police and the fireman. I'm too hot.
hot there,
Make a try, you want to retire, man. I'm too hot.
hot there,
Girl, say my name, you know who I am. I'm too hot.
hot there.
And I'm bad about that money. Break it down now. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. Girls hit you, hallelujah. 'Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. 'Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. And it's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe it, just watch. Yeah! before we leave, we want your help with.
Okay, just in case anyone doesn't know this part in the original song, it's also spoken.
Before we leave, let me tell y'all a little something.
So we'll see what they do with it in this cover here. How far through? Nearly 3 minutes through. I think this song is about 4.5 or so. We'll just do our second pause here, just a handful of things I'd like to go over that we heard in the last minute or so. I just found from where we carried on, so catchy. It's a mixture of the choreography and the bass line.
Wait a minute, fill my cup, put some liquor in it. Take a sip, sign the check. Julio, get the stretch.
Tell me you do too. Something almost menacing about that bass line. Not every note is chromatic. Towards the top part, yes, but at the bottom half, no, because it has to go back to the original note, which is much further down, and there's only so many notes in which to do so. But even without any percussion, without any beat here, that would be enough to just keep the rhythmic energy going. I think why it stands out to me more is because it's not in your typical swing rhythm. It's not bouncy, da-da-da-da-da, very regimented. Every note is exactly equal rhythms. Nice harmonic touch here on Harlem, Hollywood.
Julio, get the stretch. Right to Harlem, Hollywood.
The melody, I mean, we're getting quite familiar with this now, but it's here. And the harmony, the overall chord. Again, just exaggerating this D minor 7th that we seem to be hearing quite a lot. And whilst we're here, we might as well check out that bass line that I was just talking about. As you've probably guessed, it's D, so it starts on the D. So the interval's half each time. Here we have a third. And then from note 2 to 3, it's a second. And then the rest of the phrase is chromatics. That sounded horrible, but... And in the background, every time you listen to this, and I know every time I listen to this in the near future, I will be listening to it many more times, I'll be hearing new things. Just now, as I was showing an example, I heard something else. Just these little rock organ chords that come extremely quickly and then disappear.
Jackson, Mississippi. If we show up, we're gonna show
And again,
out.
this time though, hearing it, it sounded a bit more like a piano. I'll need to listen a few more times to confirm. The point is, there's just so much stimulation going on in the little Sir Hairless brain right now. And then when you throw in the visuals, the random changes such as Bastien switching to speaking now.
Oh, wow. Smoother than a fresh drop skippy. I'm too hot.
Yeah, it's just really well done. Nice change of style there as well.
Fresh drop skippy. I'm too hot.
Hot damn.
Call the
Bass is removed. I wanted to continue that bass line. But no.
I'm too hot.
Hot damn.
Call the police and the fireman. Too
Now it's time for the brass to shine. Your saxophones, your trumpets, your trombones.
hot.
Hot damn.
Call the police and the fireman. Too hot.
But they've taken over the rhythmic idea of that regimented bass, notes of equal rhythms. Cha, 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 cha. The piano is always coming, doing its little tinkly thing now and again in between phrases.
Man, too hot.
Hot damn.
Make a try to want to retire, man. Too hot.
And then the trumpets now on the offbeats instead of cha, 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 cha. Syncopations.
Hot damn.
Make a try to want to retire, man. Too hot.
Hot damn.
And then we have the ooh bits and the vocals. Very nice standard harmonies.
Hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Cause up to
The same type of chord, but moved around a little bit. If your hand was on a piano, it would go from here to then there to then there, that kind of thing. But the double bass, you know, the low string is playing a purposefully dissonant note with every chord. And this is heavy dissonance, not like a minor 7th or something. This is just a note that sounds wrong.
hit you hallelujah. Girls hit you hallelujah. Cause Uptown Funk gon'
And those notes move in pitch a bit as well, really exaggerating this off effect. But it wouldn't be funk if everything was prim and proper, would it? That leads very nicely into this build-up of tension, all the ideas we've spoken about before. Melodic growth, chromaticism, offbeat, syncopations, regimented rhythms, they all come in now.
Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. Cause Uptown Funk gon' give it to you. It's Saturday night and we in the spot. Don't believe it, just watch. Yeah.
And I do like those. Well, okay, let's carry on. I think my head's going into meltdown mode, so let's get to the end.
All right, before we leave, we want your help with a little something.
Now, all you folks at home who are watching us on YouTube or listening to us on Spotify, this is your chance to sing along. Don't be afraid. Ain't nobody around to hear you.
I will
Just
not be
a little
doing that, don't worry.
conversation between you and us. Here we go. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you
I
up.
hope you are though.
Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up. Uptown, funk you up. I said uptown, funk you up.
Come on, dance,
Uptown,
jump
funk you up. I
If you
said uptown,
sexy,
funk
then
you up.
funk me. If you funky,
Uptown,
then
funk you up. I said
Don't brag
uptown,
about it,
funk
just
you
show
up.
me. Come on, dance,
Uptown,
jump
funk you up.
If
I
you
said uptown,
sexy,
funk
then
you up.
funk me. Well, it's Saturday night and we're in a spot. Don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe it, just watch,
Don't believe me, just watch.
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 Don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe it, just watch. Don't believe it, just watch.
That was fun. That was nuts, actually. Seriously cool arrangement. There's so much in there. Just so much. That whole last section, I like how they went essentially instrumental towards the end. Almost like a big band getting their due.
Don't believe it, just watch.
That's mad. That's mad. That's a top A. The highest note your typical chorister is expected to sing. So in other words, very high. Cool video, cool dance moves. Oh, I just love the clash of the rhythms, the walking bass, the regimented cha 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 cha, and then against it. Good to see Chris miming the bass there, because the bass line now has become a bit more complicated. The same harmonic idea, roughly the same notes being played, but the range is switched around. Instead of just going up and down, it will go up a bit more, then down lower, that kind of thing. It's fun to listen out for and just try and follow along, and even funner to try and sing along. And when we get to these repeated Don't Believe Me, Just Watches, I really like Bastine, and then also Kelly as well. They just hand over so well to each other.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Well, that was quite overwhelming, to be honest. So much in there. As soon as I press stop recording, I will be listening to this again. It's one that, I don't know, for me anyway, it's just kind of brightened the mood today. As expected, where I am, the weather is not so bright, shall we put it that way. Let me know if you knew 7th Av before. Based on this, I imagine they have some other pretty cool things out there. If you voted on the poll, well, thank you very much. And of course, thank you for watching. Would appreciate a like and subscribe. Head on over to my Patreon linked on the screen to get access to even more additional perks not available on YouTube. And I will see you next time.